We recently got some Hazbin Hotel Season 2 updates, which includes the new season's episode titles, descriptions, release time and thumbnails, so I wanted to break it down for you guys and explain the situation. So a little bit ago, people started reporting that Hazbin Hotel Season 2 page on Prime Video had been updated, and sure enough the release time can be now seen along with the new episodes. For me it comes out at 7 AM. What about you? I've decided to talk about these new episodes as I don't believe they're real leaks. They're still visible to some people on Prime and very little posts about it have been hit with strikes, unlike the other footage people are being striked for, but I've talked all about that in 2 shorts already. Spoiler warnings ahead, as there will be a synopsis and image of each new episode. Episode 1 is called New Penches and the thumbnail is one we've already seen, which is the V's outside of the V's tower. Vox looks smug, but whatever he's saying, Velvet and Valentino aren't on board with. Something I saw someone on Twitter point out is that this could be the part of Hazbin Guarantee where Vox takes over and forgets to include the other V's. The synopsis for this episode says, Charlie's victory against Heaven has sinners flocking to the newly rebuilt Hazbin Hotel, but can she make sure they're all there for the right reasons? Meanwhile, Vox reveals his plan for the V's to gain their ultimate victory. As we've heard Viv say at NYCC, this episode is clearly just a reintroduction and is going to set up the rest of the season. Episode 2 is called Storyteller and the thumbnail is Emily showing Sir Pentious a koala in heaven, which is probably a reference to what Charlie says in season 1 episode 6. The synopsis says, Sir Pentious' redemption creates a stir in heaven, but not everyone is happy to see a sinner redeemed. Again, Viv has said at NYCC that this episode takes place at the same time as episode 1 and it's clearly going to be about Sir Pentious adjusting to heaven and Emily showing him around, but either Heaven's higher ups or its citizens won't be happy about it. It's also probably where we'll see this image of Sir Pentious and these clips from the trailer. Episode 3 is called Hazbin Hotel Behind Closed Doors, with the thumbnail being Angel dust on the hotel's train track seemingly protecting Husk from something, as we can see his wings behind Angel. The synopsis says, Charlie invites Voxtech to do a piece on the hotel and Pentious' redemption, but she will need hard proof to convince her skeptical guests. This synopsis actually reveals a few things. First off is that this scene where Vox and Velva is at the hotel is most likely in this episode, and Charlie actually invited them, which I don't think is going to go very well. Another thing that's revealed is that Charlie knows Sir Pentious has been redeemed, so at some point between episode 1 and this episode, Emily or Heaven will contact Charlie and inform her of Pentious' redemption, which will definitely be interesting to see. Moving on, episode 4 is called It's a Deal and the thumbnail is of Alistair in his new outfit that we see in the trailer. The synopsis is a bit more vague this time, as it says, Charlie tries to do damage control by going on live television. Meanwhile, Alistair reaches his final straw. This episode seems to be a direct continuation from episode 3, as the first sentence clearly shows that Charlie's Voxtech interview hasn't gone well. I'm not sure what to think about the second sentence, but clearly Alistair is angered by something, probably to do with Vox, and so he goes to speak with Rosie about it. The episode title could be hinting to his breaking point being the deal he's trapped in, but I don't know if they'd reveal his sole owner this soon. Episode 5 is called Silence, with the thumbnail being of Lucifer in what looks like his palace or his room at the hotel. I haven't gone into too much detail with the thumbnail so far, but I wanted to quickly for this one, as we can see a painting of Mammon in the background, which is our first look at what the future Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel crossovers will look like. The synopsis for this episode says, Vox hosts a rally for his increasing supporters, meanwhile Charlie looks to Heaven for help. Again, another vague description, but the first part seems to be what we see in the trailer here, and with Lucifer being in the thumbnail, this means he might start to intervene with Vox's plan at this point. The second sentence isn't detailed at all, but it could just be a similar plot to season 1 episode 6, where Charlie tries to convince the Heaven court that they need to help Hell and the hotel defend itself from Vox. Episode 6 is called Scream Rain, and the thumbnail is of Charlie and Vaggie sitting on their bed. The synopsis reads, Vox leads the overlords toward war with Heaven. Tensions run high at the hotel and Husk returns to his old ways. I think this episode is going to be super interesting because I don't know how Vox managed to convince the other overlords, specifically Zestial and Carmilla, that going to war was a good plan. The second sentence is also interesting because I'm not really sure how Husk could go back to his old ways. Maybe he used his old overlord connections to help the hotel, but gets back into his gambling addiction and ends up making things worse. Going on to the last 2 episodes now, with episode 7 being called Weapon of Mass Distraction, with the thumbnail being Velvet and Valentino on the balcony of the V's tower. Don't ask me about Velvet's hairline though, I don't know either. The synopsis says, Vox unveils his secret weapon, giving Heaven their final warning. This episode is clearly when the climax starts and could be when Vox reveals his massive robot shark to attack Heaven. Something I actually originally got wrong on my Discord server when this news was announced was that the episode says distraction, not destruction. So this could mean Vox has another secret plan which he hasn't made public, while everyone was worrying about his public plan. Finally, episode 8 is called Curtain Call, and the thumbnail is of the main cast looking down at something. Note that Alistair and Angel Dust aren't here in this image. I'll talk about that in a second. The synopsis says, Vox and the V's, I guess, is hosting a party so everyone can watch him take over Heaven, and you're all invited. This episode is most likely going to be the final battle, and the description is hinting that Vox is going to be bumping off the V's, and that's probably how he's going to end up losing. As for Angel and Al missing, I think this is connected to the footage we see of Angel being kidnapped, and maybe Alistair is caught too, or has gone to save Angel while the rest of the cast figure out how to save the hotel. So that's all the new Hazbin Hotel Season 2 news we got. Are you excited for the next season? season? Make sure to let me know down below, follow my other socials in the description, and be sure to subscribe for all Helliverse news and updates.